A US soldier in Kenya teams up with a French prisoner to save humanity from an alien invasion. Welcome back to Movies Explained. Today's film is an action sci-fi from 2017 titled Revolt. The movie begins in Kenya, where a helicopter crashes unexpectedly, scaring the locals who quickly run away in fear. A team of American soldiers arrives to assist the locals in evacuating while positioning themselves to find whoever caused the attack. Suddenly, 2 soldiers vanish into thin air, leaving everyone shocked. The group reacts by firing at an unseen enemy, but as the leader turns around, he witnesses an explosion that throws him into the air and knocks him unconscious. After some time, the soldier wakes up in a prison cell, completely disoriented. He cannot remember where he is, how he got there, or even his own name. His arm is seriously injured, adding to his confusion. The police station seems to be in ruins, with power flickering on and off. Desperate for answers, he looks around and notices a loose brick in the wall. Curiosity getting the better of him, he removes it and peers outside, only to see a helicopter crashing and chaos unfolding in the area. He begins shouting for help, but a prisoner in the neighboring cell warns him that making noise could be deadly. This prisoner introduces herself as Nadia, a French doctor who had been working in a foreign aid hospital for a little over 2 years. As a loud stomping noise outside shakes the building, and sparks fly from power outlets, Nadia explains that the entire planet has been invaded by machine-like aliens. Terrified, the man begins yelling for help through the hole again, ignoring Nadia's warnings. Unfortunately, she is right, and soon a group of men enters the police station, clearly looking for trouble. They kill the hostage they brought along, and then recall that there's a special reward for capturing Americans. Nadia can't understand what they're saying, but the American reveals he can speak their language and attempts to negotiate. However, the men only laugh and decide to let him out. The soldier immediately starts fighting the group leader, exchanging blows until they both tumble through the window. Meanwhile, the other 2 thugs enter Nadia's cell, but she quickly defends herself with a glass shard and grabs the thug's gun, shooting him in self-defense. The second thug proves to be a tougher opponent, pushing her against the wall. However, Nadia spots another loose brick and uses it to strike him. She then seizes his weapon and shoots him as well. Simultaneously, outside, the American soldier grabs a weapon and shoots the group leader. Another thug approaches him with a taser, but to the soldier's surprise, he manages to grab it and redirect the electric shock, electrocuting the attacker. As he tries to comprehend his newfound ability, he notices the alien robots approaching. These robots caused the earlier stomping noise, and their immense size is terrifying. Amidst the panic, the American soldier seeks refuge inside a wrecked car, but the robot still scans him from a distance. However, it eventually leaves without taking any action. Afterward, the American soldier returns inside to find Nadia, who notices the word Bo on his sleeve and decides to call him that. They collect some weapons from the thugs, and Bo tends to his arm wound before they leave the station, encountering more bodies on their way out. Bo wants to head to the US Army base, but Nadia believes it's futile. She thinks everyone there is likely dead, and they can't call for help because all the satellites fell out of the sky 8 days ago. Traveling alone on the road seems too dangerous to Nadia, but Bo is determined to take action and fight. Eventually, Nadia agrees to accompany Bo. They gather all the water and food they can find, trying to ignore the bodies strewn around them, and set off in a stolen car. Bo occasionally experiences memory flashes of a fight in his mind, but they make little sense to him. As they drive down the road, Nadia reveals that she can fight because she used to be a doctor for the army and received some training. Suddenly, bullets pierce through the car window, forcing them to stop. They realize they're surrounded by Kenyan soldiers. Nadia tries to negotiate, claiming she's a doctor seeking passage, with Bo as her escort. She even offers them water. While they argue, one of the soldiers notices Bo's circular tattoo and becomes alarmed, claiming they're from the dish. Taking advantage of the distraction, Bo captures the soldier and seizes his weapon, using it to shoot a few soldiers before demanding answers about his tattoo. A soldier explains that there's a heavily guarded American radar station near the west border with the same symbol. He also reveals that they attacked Bo and Nadia because it's believed that the American radar stations caused the drone invasion, as they are the only structures still standing. Another soldier attempts to attack Bo, but he defends himself without shooting, as another memory flash distracts him. Afterward, Bo and Nadia take the soldier's jeep and head back to the road to locate the radar station. Bo removes his bandage and notices that his wound resembles an arrow pointing toward the dish, suggesting that heading to the station is the right move. Shortly after, they encounter a danger sign in front of a town, with no other road options available. As they drive through the town, they find the road strewn with loose electric cables, posing a significant hazard. Trapped between the cables and a robot appearing behind them, they have no choice but to drive through the dangerous obstacle, as the robot gives chase and opens fire, eventually causing the Jeep to malfunction. Abandoning the vehicle, they escape on foot and hide behind some debris. However, this diversion causes the robot to target a man and his daughter instead. Tragically, the robot kills the man in front of his daughter. Nadia fires her gun to save the girl, but when the robot turns towards them, it inexplicably spares them. Despite this, the robot proceeds to kill the girl and departs. As night falls, the duo sets up camp, and Nadia reveals that her family perished during the alien attack. Then, a fleet of fighter jets flies overhead, bringing Bo relief as he sees that people are still fighting back. The following morning, they resume their journey on foot, traversing many miles. Along the way, they encounter beautiful wildlife, but also witness vast destruction and encounter numerous bodies. Eventually, they hear a sound that resembles English, almost like a voice. Following it, they stumble upon a recording set by locals as a trap. Soon after, they find themselves surrounded and captured, then taken to a ruined building where they are chained to a wrecked car. As they await their fate, two people ride by on bikes, trailed by a robot. Bo realizes that the locals are using them as bait to lure and hunt the robots. As the robots draw near, the hunters activate a mine that explodes beneath one of the robots, followed by a barrage of gunfire. Surprisingly, the robot remains undamaged. The hunters throw a chain around it, finally knocking it down with an electrical surge. However, more robots arrive swiftly and unleash a deadly volley of fire, decimating most of the hunters within seconds. Amidst the chaos, Bo finds a painful method to free himself and Nadia from their chains. They quickly seek cover as the bikers depart, drawing the attention of the pursuing robots. Once the coast is clear, Bo and Nadia cautiously return to the road. While crossing a bridge, Bo almost opens fire when he sees a light, but realizes it's a photojournalist named Stander with his camera. Stander has documented the aliens' arrival, witnessing people being taken away by spaceships and getting injured in the process. Despite his injuries, Stander shares his photographs with Bo and Nadia, revealing evidence of the aliens using Earth's electrical power and capturing a powerful image of a child confronting a robot with a rock. Suddenly, they hear an explosion nearby. Although Stander resigns himself to his fate, Bo and Nadia insist on rescuing him. They find shelter in a building, where Stander notices Bo's tattoo and recognizes it from a picture of the radar station. He proposes a deal. He'll give them the camera if they end his suffering. Bo, haunted by memories of someone's death, refuses to kill an innocent. In desperation, Stander begins attracting the robot's attention by yelling and throwing objects. With no other option left, Nadia reluctantly chokes Stander to death to prevent the robots from finding them. After their ordeal, the duo resumes their journey along the road, using the photographs as guides to find the most direct route to the radar station. Despite walking for miles, Bo continues to experience sporadic flashes of memories, though they offer little insight. Upon reaching another deserted town, their camera's battery dies, prompting them to steal another car to press onward. Hours later, while driving down the road, they hear strange noises emanating from the car radio. Intrigued, they stop to investigate and discover a destroyed robot nearby. While relieved to see that the robots can be defeated, Bo remains curious about their vulnerabilities and weaknesses. Suddenly, they hear a loud stomping sound and notice smoke nearby, prompting them to quickly jump back into the car to escape. Hundreds of robots emerge behind them, relentlessly chasing them and firing shots. In a desperate attempt to evade capture, the duo abandons the car and seeks refuge inside a nearby house. They descend to the basement and huddle together in fear. As they share a moment of intimacy, the roof begins to lift, revealing an alien spaceship above them, sucking them both upward. Within moments, Bo is unexpectedly dropped to the ground, while Nadia is whisked away by the spaceship. Flashes of memories flood Bo's mind before he collapses, losing consciousness. Later, when Bo regains consciousness, he realizes his leg is injured. After clearing debris from the wound, he understands he must continue his journey alone, despite feeling weak due to his leg's condition. With slow and laborious steps, he presses on until he finally reaches the radar station. However, his hope is shattered as he discovers that the aliens have ravaged everything, including the dish. Noticing fresh graffiti on the walls, Bo decides to locate the people responsible. He arrives at another town where he encounters people fleeing from pursuing robots. To his surprise, this group possesses a special device enabling them to counter the robots. Two different model robots then confront him, scanning him, but ultimately leaving without harm. This triggers memories in Bo's mind, recalling a moment when he shot a rocket at a robot, resulting in serious injury to a teammate. Forced to end his teammate's suffering, the sudden recollection overwhelms Bo, causing him to lose consciousness once more. After regaining consciousness, Bo finds himself rescued by the locals and taken to a shelter. A doctor tends to his leg injury, and Bo meets his rescuers, Kara and Juma. He recounts his story to them. Juma sadly explains that Nadia won't return, as the ships never bring back the people they take. Kara questions why the aliens took Nadia but left Bo behind. Seeking answers, they introduce Bo to an engineer named Roderick, who has developed EMP devices capable of disabling the robots and is now working on a larger one. His ambitious plan involves detonating this device directly beneath the alien spaceship, hoping to disrupt their system and eliminate all the robots simultaneously. However, they've struggled to approach the ship because it only appears when surrounded by a large crowd of robots. Suddenly, Roderick receives a message from the guards outside, alerting them to hundreds of approaching robots. Juma wonders if they were tracked, and Roderick's sketches of the aliens prompt an important memory in Bo. He recalls the day when a robot grabbed him, inserted cables into his mouth, and implanted a tracker in his spine. Before losing consciousness, Bo marked the arrow on his arm. Since then, the robots have been following him to discover more humans and hiding places. Kara reacts with immediate suspicion, threatening to kill Bo to safeguard her people. However, Bo proposes a different plan, to use himself as bait to draw the ship and activate Roderick's device. The group swiftly devises a plan to identify the ship's typical abduction sites. As they prepare, Bo believes he sees Nadia again, but it turns out to be a woman resembling her. Armed and prepared, the team cautiously navigates through a tunnel, carrying the device to downtown for safety. Tragically, upon emerging, they accidentally trigger a hidden bomb, resulting in the deaths of several team members. Spotting the spaceship flying in the opposite direction, they retreat into the tunnel to pursue it, only to face a large robot firing upon them. Two more members fall victim to the robot's assault, though its size prevents it from pursuing them further. Continuing through the tunnel, they encounter smaller robots that immediately open fire, injuring Kara in the process. The team retaliates, successfully eliminating the robots, but they hear more approaching. In a selfless act, Kara volunteers to stay behind with grenades to buy the team time to escape. As the group flees with the device, Kara sacrifices herself by detonating the grenades, thwarting the advancing robots with a massive explosion. Meanwhile, in the shelter, Juma and a doctor are aiding people in evacuating, but the smaller drones infiltrate the area. Tragically, the doctor loses his life, but Juma manages to escape back to his people. As they accelerate the evacuation process, they realize the robots are breaching the shelter through the vents. Prepared to defend themselves, they gear up for battle. When the robots emerge, the locals swiftly surround and attack them relentlessly. Meanwhile, Bo and the team encounter a group of robots herding people toward the incoming spaceship. Bo throws one of Roderick's EMP grenades, destroying a robot and enabling people to flee. However, the robots pursue them, opening fire and damaging Roderick's EMP device in the process. As Roderick struggles to repair the damaged EMP device, Bo recalls a picture and hurls a rock at the robots to divert their attention. However, the robots quickly return to attacking people, prompting Bo to remember the tracker's reaction to the robot's electrical power. In a bold move, he touches the fallen robot with one hand and the device with the other, transferring power despite experiencing intense pain. This act successfully energizes the device. After a massive EMP explosion, all the robots in the area, including those in the shelter, were quickly incapacitated. As power disperses throughout the area, the spaceship begins to plummet, ultimately crashing to the ground in a spectacular explosion. With the war against the aliens seemingly over, people around them rejoiced. The movie concludes with Roderick checking on Bo, who is gradually regaining his memories. However, he chooses to keep the name Bo. As the dust settles, it becomes clear that the conflict against the aliens has finally ended. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.